Hi friends, good morning and welcome to my YouTube channel. We can make a difference. And I am praying every day. I am hoping every day that more and more people will get this idea, this message, that we can make a difference. I pray that more and more people will come to recognize that the more difference we make in the lives of people, the happier, the better we become in our hearts, in our lives. So that's why I really want to promote this message that we can make a difference. We will start with a small thing, doing a little act of charity, a little act of love. That's how we believe. You know, the gospel, a scribe came and asked Jesus, which is the greatest of all commandments? And of course, Jesus said, what's the greatest of all commandments? The greatest commandment is love of God and love of neighbor. And we know, all of us know that. We know that we have to love God. We all know that God must be number one priority in our life. And of course, we also should know that we can never love God without loving our neighbor. And so when you talk about the love of God, it's like in two ways, vertical way, that's looking up to God. But we can't just look up God and say, Lord, I love you, if I do not follow the horizontal, which is the people. There's a song which I love, If you say you love God and you do not love your neighbor, you are a liar. How true it is, my dear brothers and sisters. We all say we love God. We all say God is my number one priority. But to prove whether we really love God or not, is enough to ask this question: do I love my neighbor? Do I love others? Do I accept others? And many a time, very often, we do not love our neighbors. And therefore we can say, I'm sorry, we can say that we lie to God. Our prayer or our, we say that we love God, that becomes a lie because we do not translate that love of God into our daily life by loving our neighbor. And therefore, today I want to invite all of us to examine and see, is God number one priority in my life? Is God number one in my life? Do I center my life around God? God is my reason for my existence, right? God is the reason for all that I do. Am I really believing in God? And if I say I love God, and then I ask next question, do I love my neighbor? Now, I don't mean neighbor. I'm talking about neighbor. Who is a neighbor? Someone who you live with, someone whom you know. Some people, the people in your neighborhood, anyone in need is your neighbor. Now, do you say you love your neighbor? Can you really testify to the fact that you really love your neighbor? And therefore, my dear brother, sister, this is an invitation. This is an opportunity for us to look up to God and ask the question once again, do I love my God? Do I love my neighbor? I wrote a poem, what is the greatest of all commandments? And that's what I want to share with you today. As I have always invited you, I want you to look at the lyric of my poem, or the words of my poem, the sentences, the lines of the poem, and see what line speak to you. I just want you to do one thing today. Go through the entire poem and let me ask you, which is the best line that you like in that poem, the best line, and pick that line, and that would be the line that you will keep in your mind. And therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, I want all of us to be united, all of us to recognize our life without God is an empty life. It is a useless life, because it's only God, my love of God. And it's only when I focus on my God, my life becomes meaningful. All the virtues that I will practice, all the good things that I will do in my life is only because of my love for God and for my neighbor. And therefore, my dear friends, I hope this poem and these humble words will inspire you to love your God with your whole heart, with all your strength, all your energy, your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. Before I close, please do not forget to subscribe to this channel and share this channel with as many friends, family members as possible. Thank you and God bless.
Which is the greatest commandment? Which is the greatest commandment in the law? The scholar asked Jesus this only to show his superior knowledge on the vast subject and to trap Jesus with the well-thought-out test. Pharisees had tried hard to prove Jesus wrong. They would not trap him, even if they tried lifelong. He beat them with answers they would never grasp. For them, this was a humiliating slap. Sadducees and Pharisees were full of conceit. With arguments, Jesus they could not defeat. They were not really looking for right answers. In trapping Jesus, they could not be losers. As scholar, he knew the greatest commandment, but wanted to find fault with what Jesus said. They were not looking for reasons for his arrest. Until they had Jesus, they would never rest. To love God with all your heart, soul, and mind, Jesus answered the young man reading his mind. To love your neighbor as yourself comes second. On these two, he said, all other laws depend. If you truly make God your first choice in life, and love all your neighbors as you love yourself, you will be living by the first commandment, and you'll experience a sense of fulfillment.